Hello, Global Theater. My name is Gerry Fialka. Today is November 16, 2025. I want to thank Rob Grant and his amazing podcast. I'm probably wrong about everything. Also want to thank Rocco at the greatest bookstore in the world. Where is he? Angel City in Santa Monica, Soviet Monica, California, for introducing me to today's guest, Robert Roman. Robert, it's a real honor and a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, man.
First question is, what is the best thing for a human being?
The best thing for human beings. Wow. I'm gonna drink a Guinness.
I love
probably Guinness. Besides a Guinness, I know it's out of a bottle.
Guinness.
Besides Guinness, the best thing. Wow. I would have to say, let's go with freedom.
Wow, that's a
okay.
great word.
But then, the other side of that is it's like the old quote from Kumbach.
Salute.
It's like the old quote from The Third Man.
Yeah.
Where they some Joycean references in there by Graham Greene. The whole cuckoo clock line at the end there, where Harry Lime says, peace and prosperity for hundreds of years in Switzerland. All they made was a cuckoo clock, and the lines. I don't have a committed memory, but that whole thing. So freedom, but then on the other side of it is, you generate some great art when you're pressed, under tyranny. So let's see. But I would say freedom for sure.
I love it. I love that word. What's your favorite form of information? How it comes into you?
Favorite form?
Yeah.
As far as like reading, listening,
you put it into the context you want. I mean,
sure.
Those two right there are good to start with.
I think. I mean, I'm a reader, so are you. So I read a lot, but I think hearing things, is very important. I practice Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You have to touch somebody to do that right. It's tactile. It requires contact, physical contact.
Yeah.
You can't learn it in a book. You can't watch a video. You've got to touch somebody to do it.
Wow.
So as far as, what's the best way? It depends what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I'm reading, it depends on the information, it depends on the input. But this is a serious interview, brother. But anyway.
No, but let me stay on reading for a second. Because it's basically you say all these early questions, is it more this or more that? It's, I say, you put in the context you want.
Of course.
But it is also, it's both, and it depends.
Yeah.
So it's like, what kind of context you want to put in? Let's stay on reading for a second. Did you become a reader, one, because your parents told you to read, two, they did it as an example, or three, on your own?
Wow. I think probably A and B.
Yeah.
My mom was an elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
My dad was a heavy equipment operator. But he was a reader. He died at 90 last year.
Wow.
These guys are readers. Like the high school education back then.
Yeah.
North Catholic High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That was a solid education. So he knew a lot. And I remember going to first grade. I was 5 years old. My birthday's this month, so I was one of those late bloomer, early kids. I could already read. I don't remember learning how to read.
Wow.
I could read.
Yeah.
And it's probably just because of my mother.
Yeah.
I have to credit her with that. But, I wasn't a great reader. I grew up on comic books and, 70s speed racer cartoons.
Of course.
That sort of thing.
But why do you think humans collect or gather information?
Wow. Collect or gather. I think we're pattern seeking. Okay, so I think people just naturally collect things. I think there's a hoarder inside every one of us.
Sorry to laugh. I just threw up 50 boxes of archives.
Oh, trust me. No, I moved last. I moved last year. My God, the stuff that I got rid of. And I have a good friend of mine who lost his house in the Palisades fires, and he's a well-off guy. And he told me he doesn't miss any of it.
Wow.
Like he's got minimal stuff now, and
No.
he can't even remember the stuff
No.
he had.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, certain things, but most of it, no. You know,
That-
so
but that's you anticipated the next question, Rob. I appreciate this. Is this need or want to collect information more innate or more invented?
well, I think it's innate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, can I jump back to the
You can do. Here's what I want you to know. I'm for tangents, stories, and anecdotes.
beautiful.
You don't have to answer the question.
That's great. I'm
You can go.
Dr. Digression here. Yeah.
Digression. I'm gonna write that. I need that.
No, I love that. There's the scene in J.D. Salinger's, Capturing the Rye, where Holden Caulfield's talking about they had to give a speech, and the rest of the class had to scream digression if you digressed from your speech.
Oh,
and you remember, and Holden Caulfield always said, I kind of liked hearing about the guy's, sister or whatever it was, the digression. So, I'm glad we're back in
digression to scold him.
To scold him, yeah,
And
digression.
That's good.
He liked, of course, Holden Caulfield liked that. I do too. But back to this, your question about what's the best way to receive information.
Yeah, your favorite form.
My favorite. Well, it depends. I like I'm a kid of the 70s. I like a really good television show. I like a good TV. I love movies, but I'm this amateur common reader Joycean too. And this is the thing with Joyce and Ulysses. You better listen to it too. I would recommend listening to it. I'd recommend people look, you're a Finnegan's Wake guy. You have to listen to it.
You have to read the Wake out loud.
Aloud.
But Ulysses is unique, Rob, in my finding, because I used to go to the Hammer every year and hear the big shot artists. The actors read it, or you can listen on NPR or on radio. Big actors read it. But you really don't have to have the text in front of you for Ulysses. The Wake, you need the text. You should. That people think you don't, but that's the big difference. But it is a process of out loud.
So it is a combination, especially the Wake, because the language is its own language. You do kind of have to read it while you're listening to it, I think. And you're right, you can just passively listen to Ulysses and get it, unless we're talking, unless we're talking, the Proteus episode or.
But I mean, in general, you could sort of
listen.
The general thing.
And I was always very self-conscious about reading aloud because I go to Dublin every year for Bloomsday. And I would never, I go to the top of the tower, Martello Tower in Sandy Cove, 8 o'clock. I never read. I just want to listen. But I have read, not on Bloomsday, I have read at Sweeney's, PJ Murphy, Sweeney's, and very self-conscious because I want to hear these beautiful Irish accents read. And then they're so gracious. They're so hospitable. They ask you at the lunch afterwards, and you go. And I told them I was self-conscious about this. And they said, "Oh no, we love hearing your accents. Just like we love hearing theirs. They love hearing this idiotic accent I have." So I think yes, you have to read it. Joyce, in particular, read it, listen to it, read it aloud, listen to different people read it. I do a Zoom reading group out of Dublin, I think every Tuesday.
On what?
Ulysses.
Really? But it's not Sweeney's. It's another.
No. It's this group of guys. I know them from the.
Wow.
I know them through the Bloomsday Journal. The Bloomsday Journal is the most Joycean literary magazine out there. Wow. They're the only people who publish my poems. I've been rejected from the New Yorker on down to the guy with the blog down the street who won't publish my stuff. And so the Bloomsday Journal, I have to give it to these guys. They're the only ones who publish me, and they are true. That is that.
Oh,
they're true Joyceans. Even guys like Sam Sloat.
It's part of that.
Sam Sloat publishes in there. Robert Nicholson, who used to be the curator of Martello Tower in Sandy Cove. Senan Maloney is a great Joycean. He's a reporter, I think, for the Irish Independent. He wrote a book called The Helen of Joyce, where he theorizes, and I think correctly so, not just because
incorrectly or correctly.
Correctly so, not just because I drink Guinness with him every June, but he says that Joyce is doing two things. Everybody wants to hang their hat on the Odyssey, on Homer's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Because, we even refer to, I refer to the chapters, Proteus, Telemachus. He says it's also based on the Iliad. And he has a whole book on this that he published. And guess what? The academics are kind of,
they poo-poo it?
Well, I think they're just ignoring it because they'll have to rewrite all their lectures. So I think they're just ignoring it. But there's a woman, Alice Ryan, who's the current curator of Martello Tower, the James Joyce Museum in Sandy Cove. She thinks that history will catch up with Sennin. So Sennin's a real deal. You should have him on your.
What's his last name?
Sennin Maloney.
Okay, you'll hook me up.
Yeah, for sure. But him and Cormac O'Hanrahan. Cormac staples together the Bloomsday Journal on his kitchen table. He's been doing it for not even 10 years, and he's got the likes of Sam Sloat, Robert Nicholson, and all these guys. And I am fortunate enough to be published alongside these guys. It's actually crazy.
Well, no, it's not, because when you said I'm an amateur Joycean.
Oh, amateur, right?
Dude, that's what it is.
I think so.
The amateur etymologically means you love it.
Fair enough.
I mean, if you're an academic Joycean, it might be because you're making money.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to love it.
Yeah.
But you can be both an amateur and an academic. And my favorite Joyce line ever is, dude, how'd you write Finnegan's Wake? He goes, I didn't write it. People at the coffee house wrote it.
Right. Right.
You know what he did? He sat in Paris in the 20s, listened to shortwave radio, and wrote it all down. That's why he got 60 languages in there.
There you go. There you go.
And it's like he's just, anyways, you get Joyce deeply, and that's why I think the beauty of Joyce is that it can be full-blown academics, and then it can be and it can be amateurs, and it can be shyster charlatans like McLuhan and Terence McKenna.
Completely. No, completely.
And I love them being tricksters or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is that whole thing. I said for years, Joyce invented the internet and disguised it as a book, Finnegan's Wake.
That's funny.
Well, now the 3 I just updated in the last month, Joyce invented blotter acid and disguised it as a book. 2, Joyce invented the thumbnail on YouTube.
Right.
Today they revealed what Trump really said to his family in little light. That's Finnegan's Wake.
Right.
And then my friend said, can you take a picture of this with your telephony thing and figure out where I can buy it? They go, yeah, that's called reverse image search.
Wow.
I goes, guess what? Joyce invented reverse image search and disguised it as a book.
In 1922. Yeah, that's funny.
You think you're looking at a book? No, you're looking at reverse image search.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
And then the other one you'll love is McLuhan said, you can't write the great American novel because the front page of the newspaper is the great American novel. And that's it. Everything we see in this swirled and overload is the great American novel. You can't write it. It's already there in front.
It's happening.
And then even the worst is Trump's lines are better than Saturday Night Live's lines trying to mock him. So he's
beyond satire.
But his lines are like George Bush was told you should file a writer's grievance to the Writers Guild in the Michael Moore film because you wrote all the best lines.
Right.
And that's like Trump couldn't even handle what is a writer's grievance. He's writing better lines than the fucking people who are upset.
No, how do you spoof the stuff?
How do you spoof a what?
How do you spoof it? You can't spoof it. It's already at the top. It's already through the looking glass. You're already there. You can't.
Sorry, I'm going way off.
No, I see.
But I love it because you said I'm an amateur Joycean, and then you went into all that. Because you said I want to go back to your favorite form of information.
Right.
And that was good. So let's stay with the script. But what I'm saying is you can always go, I want to go back. Because I will always go, okay, the next one. You go, no, wait.
Right.
I don't want to go to the next one yet. Rob, this is great. Do thoughts create emotions?
Oh, I think they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I can think myself into being pissed off without going into detail. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
The easy one.
I don't know what I think until I fill in the blank.
Yeah, well, look, I hate to crib this. I mean, this may even be like like a William F. Buckley line. Like I can't think without a pen in my hand.
I don't know what I think without a pen in my hand.
Yeah, like
why is that Buckley? That's great.
Well, I think Buckley said that or something. Look, I'm a great paraphraser. I don't know if I'm actually quoting, but I remember him saying something.
That's
like
all
that.
Joyce did was take other people's lines.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Okay, but here's Joan Didion says, "I don't know what I think until I write it."
Well, man, same.
McLuhan says, "I don't know what I think until I say it."
And I think Buckley hired her, by the way, too. I mean, Buckley hired.
Wait, William Buckley hired Joan?
I believe so. You can
wow,
look that up. Yeah.
You know, my favorite.
I could be just.
But dude, it's all right. I don't care if it's right or wrong. The idea that you can take Joyce and go, he's going to inspire me. That's what art should do.
I believe so.
In the Buckley story I love is you can see it on YouTube. It's unbelievable. Ginsberg is on William Buckley's show.
Right.
He says, dude, you wrote a poem high on LSD. Can you read that for us? And Buckley goes, sure. And Alan goes, sure. He reads it. William Buckley, it makes me cry every time I see it. Goes, that's very good.
Yeah.
He doesn't go, that was,
yeah.
He fucking says, it doesn't matter if you were high on LSD or not.
Right.
He's basically saying, you wrote a good poem.
Yeah.
And, by the way, you're a hippie and I'm not so much hippie-ized, but you did this. So maybe LSD could work.
I'll give him that.
Can humans think without language?
Oh, wow. Okay. I should have a ready line for this.
No, you don't have
like
to.
Just
you don't have to have any ready lines.
Because I think Buck Mulligan says something like I in the very beginning of you listen. I think he's quoting Wilde or somebody, and he says something. I should know this, but like, I only see images. Like I can't.
What's the verb?
I don't know. I only see images or something.
Only or already.
Only I think, but I have to look.
Images. Yeah, but no, dude, Rob, this is what I like. I don't want people to be able to be an encyclopedia.
No, I'm not that.
And say, here's the lines.
Yeah.
I like mostly when people go, well, and then they reference it and they change it. That's what the human condition is for me. Is that you don't. I mean, it's good to credit where you got it, but you don't have to. You can just embellish it and move it on. And that's the beauty,
right?
So you don't have to apologize that much.
No, I know. I'm just but that takes you to the whole question of like so-called stream of consciousness.
Exactly.
Because sometimes I hear myself saying things to myself like Leopold Bloom, but maybe not quite. Definitely not like Stephen, but you hear yourself thinking sometimes. Harold Bloom, no relation to Leopold, talks about the invention of the human, that Shakespeare created humanity and this kind of thing by we hear ourselves think.
Is that what Harold says? We heard ourselves think, and that's how.
Well, he says it. Like Hamlet rehears himself and then kind of like changes what he says.
But Hamlet rehears.
I think I might. I think he said something like that.
Harold's my hero.
I like Harold Bloom a lot.
Well, he's the best in a lot of ways because I'm a quotes guy. This guy says this, and I say the quote, and then I realize you get in more trouble when you tell them who the quote was, and they go, if they said that, I won't react. So you learn. But he knows how to do what McLuhan did. Is you take the epiphany of the quote or whatever you got from the quote and you reinvent it or take it farther. You don't just settle on that, and which is fine. Settling on that is fine.
Right.
But can humans think without language? Yeah. You were bringing up you can think with images. Is that what you were implying?
Well, no, I was trying to think of a clever comeback, but it's I don't think look, can you think with that language? Sure, but just not as well.
That is good.
Yeah, you
Not
kind of
as well.
need some words to hang your concepts on,
but not as well.
'Cause there's that old trick. There's I use a meditation app these days, and I started meditating during COVID because I thought I was going to lose my mind. But I guess do a trick. I forget who said it.
Yeah,
he said do a trick where you just kind of look around and look at things without naming them.
Yeah,
like stare at a tree without like telling, like reminding yourself it's a tree or whatever.
Yeah,
and then you do look at it differently once you remove it. Like Jonathan Swift talks about that, like that sort of thing.
You're bringing up so much because I had to go back to when you said Wilde, because Oscar Wilde nailed it. He says everything's in public domain. So it's like I own that concept. There, he owns that, and then without naming it, goes to I'm a funk music freak. So I ask people, well, who's your 3 favorite funk guitarists?
Right.
And they'll say blah blah blah. And this one guy goes, I don't know, whoever played behind Joe Tex. I goes, dude, that's finally the best answer because it doesn't matter their name.
Right.
It was what I'm asking is the essence of their sound was this guy. So I could go home and look it up. But and I want to drop names. Oh, you named the 3 ones I wanted you to say. But he says whoever did that. And Joyce said in the wake, love thy label as thyself.
That's funny. That's funny.
So I love that you said that. Okay, now Chomsky says language is not just words. It's a culture, a tradition, a unification of community, a whole history that creates what a community is. Mm-hmm. Rob, what do you do when language doesn't work? When language breaks down, what do you do?
Like in conversation, I mean, now we're getting into, Orwell, where the language is being used as to obfuscate and not clarify. I mean, I get in these kind of not arguments or debates, but just, almost every day these days, I hear myself say, words mean things. It's usually with my mother, but words mean things. You just can't make mouth noises. I think that's a Sam Harris line.
You just can't
make mouth noises.
Mouth noises.
Well, that's a Sam Harris line. Sam Harris is like, they're just making mouth noises.
Mouth noises.
So I'm stealing that from Sam Harris.
I'm using that one in my book, man. Mouth noise.
Yeah.
Well, T.S. Eliot also said, when I talk to you, I got to use words. It's like, no, you don't. You could use gestures or anything, but he knows that we are, Marshall nailed it. Word is the most addicting and universal drug.
Yeah. Look at all these people who won't shut up. I mean, look around.
Shut up.
I mean, you give people Twitter and the internet, they don't want to shut the hell up, man. You read the comment sections? Oh my god.
Dude, I told my friend today, our film festival was going up today, and I said, shut the live chat off because they won't pay attention to the film while they type in the chat.
No.
And I said, you do it post. But that I says, but I'm guilty. I nail myself with Duchamp line. I'm going to contradict myself so I don't conform to my own ideas.
I like it.
I only read the comments on things. I don't even fucking watch a thing. I just read the comments.
That's
and
funny.
It's like, you didn't even give my thing up 2 seconds?
My dad
no, I
used
just
to do that. That's really funny.
Yeah, it is funny, but it's stupid. But I'm saying you're at the store or communication breaks down, you're talking to your mom. What do you do? That's the question is when words don't work, when language doesn't work, what do you do?
I stick to the language. I just try to back up and just reduce it to its most simple terms.
That's great.
Like go full Mark Twain. Like let's just go monosyllabic on this. Like let's leave the Greek and Latin out and stick with the old the good old English words, monosyllabic, and then just, let's talk about this. And then, now we're harping on my mother. She'll just say something like, "Oh, you don't? I'm just joking."
She says I'm.
Oh no, my mom's hilarious. I have horrible allergies right now.
Yeah.
I don't sound like this normally. I'm allergic to everything: dogs, cats, cattle, dust, grass.
Right.
And as a kid, my mother just decided I was asthmatic. It's not asthmatic. I have all these allergies.
Right.
And I finally, I don't know why she did it. Yeah, but she finally went and had like allergy tests done. I'm telling stories about my mom now. It's just funny. And so I had these allergy tests done. They stick all the pins in you and figure out what you're allergic to. And she would still, as I was an adult, telling people I was allergic to milk. And I said, Mother, I'm not allergic to milk. I'm allergic to dogs, cats, cattle, and so on. She said, cattle, where do you think the milk comes from? I mean, this is the kind of thing that my mother says. So you go ahead and have a language conversation with a lady who was, a Catholic school teacher her entire life. Tough to beat. I mean, she's tough to beat.
She's a Catholic school teacher her whole life?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What did she teach? Like
elementary school. She taught high school when she was young. And then she was teaching like middle school or elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah, for decades and decades.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know the exact.
Okay, now Rob, your observations of humans in general, are we more thinking or more feeling beings?
Oh, feelings. Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
I think even for like thinkers.
Even thinkers.
Even like, the so-called public intellectual. I mean, we're just. Our feeling, people are just.
Here's the quick comeback is Bridget Bardot says, when I make love, I don't think. I'm like, good luck. How do you turn your brain off? It's like people meditate. Now think about not thinking.
It's hard.
And there's a bumper sticker on a car on my street and it says, don't believe everything you think. And I'm like, well, you could say, don't believe everything you feel.
Well, this is like the Stephen Colbert truthiness. Remember that? Remember how kind of revolutionary that was? That was a long time ago. Like truthiness, like truth. I feel it. I feel it, so it must be true.
Right. Well, here's the follow-up. 2 from Alan Turing. 1. Oh, wow. Is thinking a function of the soul?
Oh, wow. Yeah, soul. I mean, I don't know. I got to think about that word. No.
Oh, right. I see. I ask all these questions.
Function of the soul.
Yeah. Well, this is it. I ask all these questions because I want the people to answer them the way I feel. So it reinforces me. Funny. But in the long run, if you say yes, I like that because then it opens up my floodgate, and I go, "Well, I can interpret it."
So you should rename your podcast. Confirmation bias.
that
way I'm right about everything, and here's why. Just looking for confirmation bias.
Because the guy who had me on his podcast, I hijacked it, so I just never checked.
Of course you did.
I never changed the title because I'm probably wrong about everything. I would never name it. I wouldn't name it that, but he named his, and then I kind of hijacked it, and he helps me.
So you stole the podcast.
Well, I didn't steal it. He still helps me in a way, but yeah, I stole it.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So you're coming clean here. What episode is this? 200 and whatever.
This is like 720. 700.
Can you swear on this?
It says right there 719. You're
719.
You're the 719.
Can you use? Is this a family podcast? Can you use profanity?
Yes.
Holy hell.
Yeah. I mean, you can use it. So, but you know what's funny? When they subtitle, they bleep it in the subtitle.
Well, who's doing that? Is that YouTube? Somebody?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, some algorithm. But that was good. I'm gonna tell him this guy wanted me to rename it Confirmation Bias. I love it. Yeah. But here's the second turn question: can machines think?
Well, look, we're right on the cusp of this. I don't think so. Not yet. They're just. Look, I don't like talking about things I don't know anything about, but I will for the Confirmation Bias podcast. Like I know a little bit about writing hangman puzzles because that's what I do for a living. I know a little bit about teaching because I was a school teacher for 8 years back in the 90s. I know a little bit about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I've been doing it for more than 20 years. I know a little bit. I know a little bit about it, and I know a little bit about James Joyce only because I read Ulysses a lot.
Yeah.
But the question was,
can machines think?
Yeah, like machine learning. I mean, these are large language models. They're
Yeah.
just combing the internet. I can't speak intelligently about like what the actual machine's doing,
Yeah.
quantum computing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to me, it can do computations, obviously, but you've dicked around or you've played around with AI.
You can't.
It hallucinates.
You go to
this
Google.
Thing, it hallucinates. It gives you the wrong. If you ask him more than 3 questions, it's going to give you the wrong answer.
But doesn't that, in the long run, help us develop better critical thinking skills?
Only because I think some people are just buying what it says.
Well, you could go to the encyclopedia and read something that could be untrue, but we just take it because.
Sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Everything we invent has services and disservices. So in the long run, I'm not for AI taking over, but I think it's a tool that it's in its early stage and it's our job to raise it well.
I think it's screwed. I really do.
It is screwed or we're screwed?
Both. No, it's screwed because the internet, there's so much garbage on the internet that is because it's kind of self-feeding.
But wasn't there garbage pre-internet?
Yeah, but it wasn't at AI's fingers. It data crawls. It has access to everything.
Right. Right. No, I know.
I remember whenever I was doing research for game shows years ago.
Yeah.
Weakest link.
Yeah.
And the guy who's the head of the research department, you were not allowed to use Wikipedia as a source
when it first came.
Because it was unreliable.
But could you use Encyclopedia Britannica?
Sure.
What's the difference?
But you had to triple source everything. Okay. And
books, triple source.
No. We would get on the phone, talk to experts.
Triple source
things. So, some kid or whatever, somebody just asked, is it Gemini on Google? Yes, ask Gemini a question like, good luck.
Well, the one thing I know that triple source thing from 60 Minutes did a spot when 60 Minutes was good journalism.
Okay.
They just changed, I think. 60 Minutes seemed to be good investigative journalism. They said, we're doing a piece on National Enquirer, and they don't always triple source. Okay. And I'm like, dude, the U.S. government put out, we killed 50 people in South America, and it's all known they killed 5,000 people, whatever the statistic. Right. And they goes, what's your source on that? U.S. government. Do you have 2 other sources? No, we're going to go with that. So that's where that triple source thing, because then eventually, guess where National Enquirer got sourced? Front page of the New York Times with and then that other weird news source, entertainment news source. They get in Vice magazine is the only person that had Rodman go to interview
North Korea.
Yeah, so I mean that's where that triple source has there's some wiggle room in there.
Well, sure.
But overall, it works. You were saying. Yeah,
well, you can at least be sort of sure.
Yeah.
You just ask AI something. Come on, man. Come on.
But you can't, when you're doing a hangman puzzle, you can't. Do you use Google?
Always.
Then sometimes they force you to have AI before Google.
But you can skip past. You can skip past. Yeah, I don't look at that.
You never look at the AI.
Of course.
No, you do.
I do, but I don't.
You know how to juggle. Okay.
Yeah. I'd have lost my job 20 years ago. Yeah.
I'm like doing a job interview. Would you do this?
No, you got to check this. And again, these are just hangman puzzles. I'm not writing Jeopardy. Those are the real brainiacs. They're the ones writing trivia questions.
Right.
They're the ones really dealing with this.
Now, you give me some great insights and lines for my book.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I got them all down here, and I really appreciate this because I love that triple source. Okay. Do you more pursue happiness or more pursue meaning?
Wow. Okay, that's a tough one. I think I'm pretty yeah, I mean, I'm really immature, probably happiness.
Well, when you have to say it's immature, I mean, a lot
Yeah,
of things. The
meaning.
reason where I got that question is
Yeah.
Viktor Frankl's book,
Oh,
Man's Search
sure,
for
of
Meaning.
course, of course.
He says meaning tends to last and happiness doesn't tend to last.
Absolutely.
You would agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Does the brain more detect consciousness or create it? Like, is consciousness there bubbling away and we're
Oh.
more so detecting it or more so creating?
Oh man, yeah, yeah. We talk about triple sourcing? No, I'm teasing. That's a tough one. Yeah, that's like a tough one.
It's your intuition or guess. Because sometimes people go ask a neuroscientist. I'm just saying, your guess or what's your hunch, and you're totally allowed to say, I don't know, I can't answer that.
Yeah,
and people feel, oh no, you put me on the spot. I was like, no,
I don't feel like
good.
Give me the question again.
Yeah, because one other thing, Rebecca Solnit really nails it. She goes, just because you ask me a question doesn't mean I have to answer.
Well, what's the Robert McNamara line? Just answer the question you wish they asked, not the one they asked. Remember in Fog of War? Remember that one?
Say that again.
I think McNamara said this in the documentary Fog of War.
Yeah.
He goes, ask the question you wish they asked, not the one they asked.
Ask
something like that. You wish they asked.
You wish they asked.
Yeah, I don't have to answer the question. I can just talk. I can just bring it right back to,
that is
to my poetry book. You're going to read. You want me to read a poem?
Because Rob, that is
we all do that.
There's a question coming up that I got from another Earl Morris.
Well, Earl's great.
And that McNamara movie pissed me off so much because it's a great movie. But to me, he
let him off the hook a little bit.
He humanized a war criminal.
It's hard.
Here's what my wife's dad is amazing. Freudian Marxist, amazing social worker. He says humanizing anyone is good. So humanizing a war criminal, he says humanizing anyone is good. So I understand that concept, and I love what you just taught me because that is a major.
But if you talk to somebody long enough, aren't you humanizing them just by engaging with them long enough? Yes, I mean, this is like the whole platforming thing. I belong to a lot of James Joyce Facebook groups.
Yeah.
I've been banned, barred, blocked from a lot of them.
Because
you'd have to ask them. I don't know. I mean, communicado. It's like the Ministry of Truth. Put me down the memory hole here. Because I wrote something. I used profanity or I did something wrong.
It's Jimmy up in heaven. He goes, ban that motherfucker.
That whole thing. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine? And I wrote a sonnet about this. Like, I thought this was a James Joyce group. I mean, the guy's the most banned person ever. I mean, nothing could get published. I mean, they would put you in jail for publishing it. I mean, they burnt it on the docks in New York City.
Don't let me forget to show you, if you don't know this. I bought it at a garage sale in Venice 15 years ago. A copy of Ulysses.
What?
That's $5. It's this big. It's like a bootleg copy that they put out illegally.
Sure.
And it has penis enlargement ads in the back.
That's from back then?
Yeah.
From the 20s?
Well, I'll show you the year.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
But it's just so freaky because it's like we know the guy, his name.
I forget the guy's name because
he was publishing Ulysses illegally.
He was just pirating it straight up.
But in the long run, all the power to him. He was publishing the greatest book ever written.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, Joyce needed that. I mean, I do believe that. I do believe in ownership.
Joyce got money to go eat at fancy restaurants.
No, but he owed everybody. You know this. He owed everybody everywhere.
He lived a good life in the
only because he never paid anybody back. And he beat the rent everywhere.
And so what? Look at what he gave us.
I still don't think they should pirate his book.
Huh?
I don't think you can get away with pirating his book.
Well, go back to Oscar Wilde. Everything's in public domain.
Eh,
You want to own your book, but if someone put your book out and made $1 million and got you more popular, would you go give me a cut, or would you go thanks for making me popular?
I don't know. $1 million. I mean, they're not going to make $1 million off of a book of poetry.
I know, but that's an
Look,
exaggeration.
yeah.
I mean, in the long run,
Look,
do
I self-published this book.
Yeah.
Okay. I've given it away more than I've sold.
I know,
but it's not even close.
But
I'm
just
losing so much money on this book. It's not even funny.
But in the long
I know
run,
that.
Were you happy that you did it? And
Yes.
it gave you,
Yes.
That the purpose was to
Yes.
make the art, not to make
I actually
the
go,
money.
you know, those little neighborhood free book libraries. I just stick it in there just for kicks sometimes. What do I care?
You care because some kid might read it and change their life.
Profanity.
Okay. Now the question was: does the brain more detect consciousness or create?
Oh wow! I'm gonna say create.
Create. Okay.
Yeah.
What's faster, speed of light or speed of thought?
Well, it depends who's thinking. Yeah, me. Light's definitely faster. But look, yeah, for sure, light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Audre Lorde, the poet, said you can't dismantle the master's house using the master's tools. Her colleague Yvonne Rainer said you can if you expose the tools. What new tool do you suggest?
I mean, look, everybody's using AI, but we're talking new tools. I've been thinking about this a lot.
Yeah.
As far as Joyce and Ezra Pound, Gertrude Stein, all these guys in the 20s,
yeah.
right? Modernism was happening.
Yeah.
Right. And you could say Ulysses is
the epitome of all that. Yeah.
I would say that. I would argue that. It's 100 years ago. I feel like we're somewhere else and nobody really has a name for it yet, because I'm tired of all the post, whatever, fill in the blank. Yeah, like where are we now?
Yeah.
So tools, I mean, definitely we're some people are more than half online. I think we're of a certain generation where I liked reading online, but I never put much up.
Right.
You're kind of different because you've been doing this podcast for so long. So
yeah, but I mean,
you're broadcasting.
I'm a idiot. I was raised in front of a TV screen, so
right.
I can't read.
But you're a creative guy. Yeah.
But I can read an article about a book and then talk about the book.
Right.
That's
right,
what
right,
my
right,
problem
right.
is. I'm one step removed. There's some work for that. But I'm just saying, the question is, you put it in the context you want. It means new. You don't have to apply.
Uh-huh.
It's not about dismantling the master's house necessarily. It's basically what tool do you most gravitate towards, and it doesn't have to be tangible.
Oh wow. What tool? Wow. It sounds like an easy answer. I mean, just the internet. I mean, you can I mean, you can get a PDF of every Shakespeare sonnet, and sit and highlight them and figure it all out and take them apart and put them back together.
What you're really saying is back to printed word and reading.
Yeah,
and books is your tool. I mean, Mallarmé says everything ends up in a book.
Yeah.
But anyways, what toy do you gravitate towards? Now I kept asking the tool question, and a guy goes, "Well, what about a toy?" So what's a toy you gravitate towards?
It's a toy. Oh wow. I keep a journal. I keep a written journal.
That's good.
And I do toy with it a lot because I go back and I read last year's entry for this day, even 2 years ago, 10 years ago.
How many years you been doing?
More than 10. Well, more than 10.
You know who's the queen of all journaling?
Go ahead.
Anais Nin.
Oh, sure.
Now, she's not like a great writer, someone said, right. But she has done something in the history of humanity that not many people did and journaled that long.
Right.
So,
and mine, it's handwritten. It's only a small little journal, spiral bound, but I fill up the page every day. It takes me, 10, 12 minutes.
Wow.
But it's amazing sometimes when you go back and reread, yesterday's day today, and you've you've lived the same damn day, you know, or very similar. You even like had the similar thoughts.
Wow.
And I start to wonder about myself if I'm just an idiot just on this hamster wheel or not. But
I don't.
that's a neat that's a toy, I would say.
That's a really good answer. Thank you, Rob. You're concise and articulate, and I appreciate this. What do you worry about when you go to bed at night?
You know, I don't worry anymore when I go to bed at night because I fall asleep pretty quickly. I'm one of these. I wake up before 5 a.m. I do my writing. I usually exercise. My days are full, and I fall asleep pretty early. Now, as a kid, I was born in '67. I'm giving away my age. You know, I went to all Catholic schools in the Rust Belt, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You went to bed every night as a teenager thinking there was going to be a nuclear explosion tonight and you were going to die in a nuclear holocaust. It was the day after. Remember the movie?
Day after,
yeah, like
right?
you just knew you were going to, it was the height of the Cold War, man. Like we thought that, you know, the world was ending any minute now. And
good answer.
That could be, you know, that locale and that time. But yeah, I don't worry.
So you fleshed it out beautifully because you gave a little history. I interviewed that guy who made The Day After. That is an amazing TV moment.
Oh yeah,
everybody watched.
Everybody watched.
And what a thing. Okay, now that question I got from Errol Morris's film with Rumsfeld. What do you worry about when you go to bed at night? That's a great question.
That's funny. What did Rumsfeld say?
I forgot what he says, but it's funny because people like go, well, I'm embarrassed to say, but money. I go, don't be embarrassed. All I'm doing is asking, you know, and they'll say, blah, blah, blah. Okay. McLuhan learned from Ezra Pound that artists are the antenna of the race. They're broadcasting and detecting the hidden psychic effects of our inventions, so we might learn how to cope with what we don't like about our inventions. So, Rob, I asked you the question Marshall probed his whole career. Why do we ignore the hidden psychic effects of our inventions, even though the artists are broadcasting them to us?
I've thought about this a little bit too. I mean, look, it's a privilege. Look, I don't have kids. You know, I'm divorced. I have time to, you know, write silly sonnets and quote unquote be creative. I think most people are just so consumed with just getting through today.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have time. So of course they don't have time to listen to what Ezra Pound had to say or what a poet said, or they just don't have time.
Yeah.
You know, they have time to maybe read their book before they go to sleep, whatever book they happen, whatever bestseller they happen to be reading, or what airport book. But yeah, when's the last time we actually listened to you know, an artist?
Yeah.
You know, think about it.
No, I mean, it's heavy. Now, do artists have moral obligation?
No.
Dude.
No.
There's no right or wrong answers, but that one you got right.
No.
But you know, guess how most people
absolutely
guess how most people answer.
Yes.
They go, everyone has a moral obligation.
No, art doesn't. Art's art.
Yeah.
No. There's a guy's been I've been banned from too many Facebook groups. No, come on. No. Art's art.
Are you more afraid of new ideas or more afraid of old ideas?
Old ideas. The old ideas are the bad ones. Yeah, old ideas.
Can you conjure up your earliest memory ever, or one of them?
Oh wow, interesting question. Yeah, yeah. Look, it's vague. It's a vague memory. I mean, I was in a preschool, and I just remember being in this preschool, and they had like these like Lego type toys, and I remember playing with these toys, and there may have been like a little like clubhouse you could sit in.
Yeah.
Like I remember being there. I don't remember any, but I just remember being in the strange place.
Is memory more a curse or more a blessing?
Oh, it's got to be a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're all living our own private memento, looking at our tattoos to figure out what happened 5 minutes ago if we don't have short-term memory. Remember that movie? Yeah, you need your memory.
You mean I don't know the context of the movie, but you mean he got a tattoo? The person got a tattoo.
So you get like he's covered in tattoos. Huh? He's covered in tattoos. Oh. You got to see this movie.
Oh, I know, I should, but yeah. then you mean he looks and he tries to
remember his name? Yeah.
Oh, he remembers his
name. He has no short-term memory.
Oh, I mean, so look, he can look on his
it's
body.
High concept. Yeah, he just looks and goes, "Oh, right,
that's my name."
Yeah,
I see.
This kind of suddenly looks around and goes, "Oh, wow, what am I doing here?" Yeah, you need memory,
tell me someone within your immediate family who had an impact on you, and what specifically was that impact?
Wow, that's funny. I mean, I guess most people say their parents. I'm gonna say my brother Greg, who I'm a year and a half older than.
Younger bro. Younger. Who would you mainly get from him?
He even as a young kid, he did not buy into anything.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just a rebel as a young kid, and I think like innately, like without trying.
Wow.
You know, he was just, if we wanted to like pick teams and play, we played a game called like Release. Whereas like catch you and put you in the you know, whatever, the prison, and then you run around and play a Release. Greg would say, "No, me against everybody else." And then he would just like punch somebody and run. You know, like, so he was just really out there.
What's his career?
He's a documentary filmmaker.
Is he really?
Yeah, and he lives in Pennsylvania. He's back in Pennsylvania now, but he made a documentary film about Bushwick Bill from the Ghetto Boys.
Really?
Yeah. He's that guy, but he's a
really good.
I learn a lot from Greg all the time.
That is super cool.
Even now.
Bros are important. I have a good one. Okay, so the same question outside your immediate family. Someone who had an impact on you, and what was the impact?
Oh, wow. I mean, that's a lot.
But I mean,
I'm sort of influenced by a lot of people.
Say one that kind of stands out.
Wow. Stands out. Good grief. That's not in your immediate family.
Yeah.
Man, it's I'm just wondering, like, how far do I go back, or somebody very recent?
Pick anyone you want, whether you even knew him or not.
If you knew him or not,
they can be someone who had a big impact on you.
Wow. Look, well, I'm poking fun of myself now, and I'm not some great well-read guy. You know, I read 1984, the novel, in like 1983.
Yeah.
Because I was so stupid, I thought that I needed to read it to find out what was going to happen next year. Like, I was in high school.
That's not stupid.
You know, I was like, I better read this book. It's just going to happen. And I remember reading, you know, and I whenever I was a high school English teacher, I wound up teaching it. And so, yeah, Orwell kind of stuck with me. Not that I'm some big, because it was probably, you know, one of the first like adult books that I really read and was really influenced by. Not that I didn't read other fiction, but that's 1984 is a little different.
But you quoted one of my keys, which I think is such a key to so many people, is Holden Caulfield. Was Catcher in the Rye pre that or post?
Post.
Wow.
Yeah, I read it in 1984 before. I was probably in 10th grade.
Okay.
And I was immature. You know, I was a late bloomer, but very immature.
You can get a lot more. Did you see the new doc by Raoul Peck on George Orwell?
No.
Dude, seek it out.
He's
one of the best documentarians ever. He made a film called "I'm Not Your Negro" about James.
Oh, Douglas. That's a great one. Yeah.
So
that's a great one.
He made that.
Oh, wow.
He just put out a film about Orwell.
Wow. Okay.
He's really good, and I'm dying to see it. But to tell you the truth, I watched the trailer and it's going, I don't need this.
Yeah.
It was
it's a little too.
It's like, oh my God.
It's a little much,
okay.
Yeah.
Did your parents raise you a particular religion? You already answered that. Roman Catholic.
Yeah. We were in Catholic school too.
Do you pray?
Not anymore. No, but I did as a kid. And even as a young adult.
Yeah. If God exists, Rob, what would you like God to say to you after you die?
Wow. I mean, there's a joke here. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you already said it. Wow. You see God go, wow.
Yeah.
You should hear
or he's going to say, wow, like, what are you doing here? You should be somewhere else.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
You,
wow, what are you doing
you
here?
hit the wrong button on the elevator, pal.
The one guy said, oh, he's going to check and go, oh, we made a mistake. You're going back.
Exactly. That's
but I mean, it's a stupid question, but it's funny where people
it is
go.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would, yeah.
But it's what you want him to say. Or
what would I want him to say?
What do you want God to say?
You weren't as bad as he thought you were.
There you go. That's good. Because you know what everybody says, 80? You did a good job. I thought,
no.
Come on.
Bullshit. No, you weren't as horrid and as horrible as you thought you were.
Do evil people exist, or does evil use people as a vehicle?
Yeah, see, this goes back to your consciousness question. Like, I don't know if I believe in a nebulous, metaphysical sort of evil. I think people, there's just some sons of bitches out there. There's just some damaged people out there. Evil,
okay,
man.
Here's the real hidden question, Rob. How do you advise someone to deal with an enemy? I'll set it up. Alan Watts says, if you acknowledge your enemy, you empower them. Coppola stole from the mob and the samurai. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. JFK said, forgive your enemy, but don't forget their name. And Fellini says, I need an enemy. So it's a lot of thoughts. The basic question is, how do you advise someone to deal with an enemy? But first, how would you respond to Alan Watts? If you acknowledge your enemy, you empower them.
For sure. Yes.
Okay.
But, you gave like 14 quotes there. There's different levels of enemy. I mean,
right.
If someone broke in right now was going to kill us, the proper response is to kill them back. Before they kill us, not kill them back.
Well, no, I disagree saying the proper. I would say what you're saying would be to save our lives. You would do that. But do you know what George Harrison did when the guy broke into his house and started stabbing him? I'm not like a Beatles freak or a George Harrison freak, but he goes, Om Shanti. He just starts chanting, and the guy's stabbing him. And George Harrison's wife is a hard-ass Hispanic lady from in San Pedro. Okay. She came in and beat the shit.
Exactly. Lucky for George.
Well, then he eventually died. Yeah, lucky for George. That's good.
Lucky for George.
So I'm saying, you're saying what the Alan Watts question aside, how do you advise someone to deal with them?
It depends on the on the level of threat. You know what I mean? It's like you're at work. You have a boss or somebody. There's the old funny line. I think, never wrestle with a pig. You just get dirty and the pig likes it. And I'm stealing. I don't know who I'm stealing that one from, but certain pigs you have to wrestle with. So. Yeah, your strategy on an enemy. Now, moving down the severity of your references, I mean, I think having a nemesis, helps. With
you mean like Fellini saying, "I need an enemy."
Yeah, sure. This is like opposition is true friendship, the William Blake line. You need
opposite. Go back to that.
Opposition is true friendship. It's from The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, William Blake.
I like that.
But you need someone pushing you, even if they feel, oppositional to. Not all oppositions. People perceive today. I think people perceive any kind of opposition as a threat. Even back to what you said earlier, like this platform, like humanizing people, like you've given them a platform. How dare you give this guy a platform, and anything's perceived as, this kind of like this conflict. It depends on the level of threat.
Yeah.
If we're talking about,
but if your friend says, hey, someone's bullying me, what would you say to them? Hey, they says, can you give me any advice on being bullied?
Like a child?
Well,
or an adult?
Young adult, yeah.
Like physically bullied?
Well, yes, you want a lot of details. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's say physically bullying.
you kind of have to. I think eventually you're going to have to, fight fire with fire,
Fight
or just
Yeah.
find a way to avoid this person. No, I'm conflict adverse. I
You're
don't like.
conflict averse.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like any kind of conflict. No. I'll back out. I'll submit to. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, you win. As far as like a argument.
Yeah.
But
this is perfect follow up because Nassim Taleb said games were created to give non-heroes the illusion of winning. In real life,
well, you said that.
Nassim Taleb.
Oh,
in real life, we don't know who wins or loses, but we can tell who a hero is.
Huh.
Gregory Bateson says, if the criminal gets caught, does he go, whoa, my criminal skills aren't up to snuff? Or does he go, oh, I did something morally and socially wrong? Bottom line question is, does punishment work?
It worked on me.
That is so. Give us an example.
Well, I distinctly remember I was in second or third grade, and we were roughhouse guys, and I got caught, doing something, and I had to stay in after. It was the first time I had to stay in after school, and I cried, and I remember even some of the other kids were like, "Ah, he's crying," because I felt so strongly at that moment that my friends were outside playing and I was being confined. I was being detained and my freedom was restricted. So back to question one, and I couldn't stand it. Like I wept because I couldn't, and I still, you talk about worries, like for the longest time, like, and this may just be because of my generation, like the TV I watch and movies I watch, horrified of being confined, not claustrophobic, like being, going to jail, just being confined, having your freedom, your physical freedom restricted. Like it scared the piss out of me. It kept me on the straight and narrow. And I don't know what that says about me or what that says about, whatever.
But you can express it. It's an amazing healing.
Oh yeah. I looked out the window and thought, oh man, my friends are outside playing right now and I'm stuck in this room,
Wow.
and it's I'm not saying I was an angel after that, but I knew how much trouble I could get in without having to have my freedom restricted. Knock on wood, I've stayed out of prison for 57 years.
Rob, this is really fun. You're teaching me a lot. And the final, we get to James Joyce.
Oh, wow.
The first projectionist in Dublin, Volta Cinema.
Yeah.
He basically checked out. He said, this is stupid. Why should I go inside a building and see a movie of a tree and then go outside and see a real tree? Right. Then years later, Faulkner said, sometimes the best fiction is more true than journalism.
Sure.
Why do we have to recreate things in order to get them? Why do we have to go to a theatrical play and people acting out life? Why don't we just live life?
Oh, wow. I mean, without getting, platonic ideals, like it's because it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. Wow. It's beautiful to, Shakespeare's sonnets are beautiful. Ulysses is beautiful. Movies, certain movies, there's a beauty to them.
Rob,
I mean, we're drawn to art.
Where did you get that from? The way your parents raised you? Or
it has to be. No, even as a young kid, like I said, we were rough and tumble kids. But, parents are both readers, and, Camelot with Richard Harris came on. My mom made a big deal. We sat and watched it. Right. No, we watched good stuff.
I think they gave you the aesthetic appreciation.
Well, sure, she was a school teacher.
Yeah.
And she appreciated it. And, they showed us things.
Okay, let's go through your things. You're a TV producer. You're a fiction.
Well, I write hangman puzzles. Right, I mean, to call me a producer makes it sound like I got some skill.
But that's one thing. And then you're a fiction. You're a poetry writer, and you're an educator. Why don't we go with the poetry writing and fiction writing?
Sure.
What was the tipping point where you go, I want to pursue being a writer? you're going along. Your mom's a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You're reading stuff. You talked about your reading skill.
Sure.
And then where did you go? Oh, I'm going to pursue writing.
I think pretty early on, it's just I was young and I had like nothing. I had no talent. And I had nothing to write about. I used to take writing classes and stuff and just try to write short stories.
In high school and college?
College, yeah.
What did you study in college?
English literature.
So then you
only because I didn't know what else to major in.
But you're reading, but then writing is different than studying literature.
For sure.
You're doing
completely
both.
Different. Completely different.
You're studying writing, executing.
I just loved it, man.
Yeah.
I just loved it. And
I can do this. And
no. I didn't think I could do it. I loved it and I just wanted to participate in it. I just wanted to publish a short story just so I could like participate in literature.
Right.
As like a thing.
Right.
I just wanted to participate in it.
Okay, let's go to your book, for instance. This book entitled My Own Private Ulysses.
Yeah.
Joycean Sonnet.
I can tell you specifically why I did that.
Okay, but let me ask you the question and put it. The screenwriting teacher told me great art is when you can clearly see the intention of the maker. Kubrick says the opposite. Great art is when you can clearly not see the intention of the maker. What role does intention play in your creative process writing that book of silence?
I'm gonna just repeat what I said. I just wanted to participate.
To participate.
Just to be an active participant. I think it was 2016. I took a course at University of Pittsburgh in Ulysses. It was a Ulysses seminar by a guy named Colin McCabe, famous kind of Joycean. I think he just retired. And the book just kind of stuck with me. I mean, it stuck with me because it was way, way beyond me.
Yeah.
You know, I was barely out of reading comic books. And that's a whole other podcast. There's very great comic books by Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman and things. But it stuck with me, and I kind of would, attend Bloomsday readings and things. And then I think in 2016, I finally decided, well, I'm going to go to Dublin and do this whole Bloomsday thing. Because I had done them in Pittsburgh. I'd gone to the Hammer readings that you mentioned here in LA. I've just gone to local pubs and, take a shot at reading. Yeah. And I went to Dublin and I fell in love with it because you go to Dublin and, you're on the street. You're in Davy Byrne's pub. You're there, and even though it's fictional, you're there, and that city puts on. You mentioned this in your article, the Guardian article about Finnegan's Wake. It's performance art.
Yeah,
like it is a triple kind of Lindy performance art where we're performing. We're celebrating. There's people who've never read a page of Ulysses who they're dressed in costume. Nobody cares. There's scholars walking around. You're just doing this thing. And I did fall in love with it. And I was a wallflower looky-loo, and I saw these guys all participating. I wanted to participate. And I was in the Oval Pub, which is they name in the book. The pressmen go there, but there's not a scene in the Oval Pub. I was in the Oval Pub on Bloomsday Eve, June 15th. I think it was 1922. It was the 100th year anniversary. And there's a guy there named Andrew. I'm going to pronounce Andrew's last name wrong because I don't know. It's either Basquiel or Basquel. He's got this beautiful name. And he had an issue of the Bloomsday Journal.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, is that the Bloomsday Journal? And he said, are you, because the James Joyce Symposium was there that year.
Yeah.
Because it was the 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
And he said, are you a professor? I said, no. I just know it because I've seen it on the street before. And he said, oh, I have some songs published in there, like some poems. He called them songs. And I thought, wow, I wish I could do that. And I spent the next year, I had never written a poem. I've never written poetry. And I told myself, I'm going to write a poem to get it into the, Bloomsday Journal.
That's a beautiful intention.
And I actually wrote a Joyceification. You'll get a kick out of this. A Ulyssesification, if that's a word, of Ezra Pound's first canto. you know, where instead of Ulysses going to hell and talking, well, the underworld, it's about the Hades episode in the book.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cormac over at the Bloomsday Journal got a kick out of it and
Put it in.
and published it, and I haven't looked back. I started off doing very short things, and I knocked my head against these Shakespeare sonnets, and I wrote a bunch of those, and here I am.
You were versed in Shakespeare sonnets before you started.
Not really.
I mean, a little.
Sure, okay. Just from having a degree in English literature. Yeah.
What did you mean by Lindy performance art?
I just said no. I meant
Lindy mean?
No. I probably spoke too fast. The performance art it's a citywide performance art in Dublin for Bloomsday. Anybody can participate. There's organized things, there's unorganized things. They changed the name of streets to names they were changing in the Cersei episode. There's this crazy stuff going on. I didn't know what else to call it. It was the old Rodney Dangerfield movie, Back to School, the Triple Lindy, where he does the crazy dive off the high dive, because it's just everywhere. It's just all over. It's just all over the map. It's just a triple Lindy. It's just a I was just I didn't know how else to articulate it.
No, that's good, because I call it's a living organism.
For sure.
Reading Finnegan's Wake out loud is not a group of people reading a book. It's a living organism. There's more to it, and that's what the Ulysses thing is. It's highbrow. It's tourist, it's everything.
I mean, you're on Martello Tower at the top at 8:00 in the morning on June 16th, and they start reading. It's like, what you have to think, like the opening of the book takes place there.
That's special.
Okay, Joyce lived there.
Yeah.
You know, you're there now. Like, time does something odd. There's nothing like it. There really isn't. I mean, they're going to do a Moby Dick reading down here in Venice in a couple of weeks. You're going to go
every year.
You know, but you know, Millville wasn't there. You know,
but come on,
there were no
sperm. Have you ever gone to it?
No, I want to go.
Oh,
no, I love Moby Dick.
But they put a whale bowl. I mean, you see the waves crashing and beautiful
absolutely
women in bikinis walking by. It's
perfect.
Like, this is like heaven.
No. I want to go, and I'm a Moby Dick fan.
Yeah.
I like Nathaniel Philbrick's book, The Heart of the Sea, all that stuff.
Right.
But there's nothing like the kind of like time warp of being in Dublin.
Yeah, that's
100 years later.
You know, this guy Carl Andre, the sculptor. He says sculpture as place. Wow. And it's like literature as place is Joyce.
Oh,
I mean, it's like Dublin is Joyce.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were talking about that the other day in our group, because, you know, it was like, well, he left Dublin. It's like, dude, there's a question in a movie that I shown called Problema, and it's all these intellectuals tackling philosophical questions. And one of them is, should you be able to choose where you live? And everyone's like, of course. And it's like, no, you shouldn't. You should not leave your hometown. You know, I abandoned Flint, Michigan 45 years ago, or Michigan 45 years ago. You know, and I love it. I'm a Venetian now. I'm true blue. But, you know, I talk dude language. But, you know, I really deep down know I abandoned my hometown.
Oh, me too.
And you did, and Joyce did. But it's not, you can't take it out of the person.
And I still write about it. I write stories about, you know, characters who are a little bit too much like my brother I mentioned before me, and they just these altar boys who keep getting in trouble and kicked out of school, you know. So and Joyce talks about this. You know, he left Dublin, but
he says it, dude. If the world collapses, or you know, if Dublin gets blown up, you can recreate it through my book.
Which is interesting because it really doesn't do architecture too much, you know. I mean, but you can map it out.
And then, you know, it is just saying it is enough
for sure
for him to say that he didn't really abandon it, but he did in a way. So,
and I got to tell you, I walked down the streets with this guy I mentioned before, Senan Maloney, the guy that wrote Helen of Joyce. I mean, you walk down the streets with this guy, and he stops and says, "Okay, that's where this was. Let's go in this pub because this is where this story in Dubliners, where the guy fell down the like he really knows it. I mean, really knows it. I actually asked him. I was meeting him at the the DART, their train there one day. I said, wait, which one am I going to? And he says, it's across the street where Leopold Bloom was standing trying to look at the girl getting in the. This is how he taught. I mean, this is how he thinks. He didn't give me a street name.
That's like Midwesterners, that you go up to the stranger and go, how do you get from here to the store? He goes, you can't do it. And then he goes, no, you go where the gas station used to be and take a right. It's like
that's the same thing. My dad used to do that too. Well, you kind of jog left here, and then you'll see the old broken telephone pole, and you kind of loop around there. No street names, no directions. It's like, what are you doing there, man? Like, we're not on a wagon train. What are we doing?
Okay, Rob. Duchamp said there's no art without an audience. How much were you thinking of your reader when you were writing your Ulysses sonnet book?
It's funny because I think I go through, sometimes I think about it a lot and sometimes I don't at all.
Yeah.
I have been late. This specific book, I think I was just trying to get it done. I think I wanted it to be something that the guys at the Bloomsday Journal would get a kick out of.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of my guys.
Yeah.
Cormac and Sennin.
Yeah.
But anymore though, lately, because I hit a lot of open mic nights here in LA, you've got to spend the first 4 minutes of your reading explaining what Ulysses is, which is fine.
Yeah.
But there's this dichotomy that some people believe in. There's like performance poetry and like page poetry, and I don't know about this, and I've been trying to make mine more readable for an audience, like more entertaining, for lack of a better term.
And that's more page or more performance?
More performance.
You're trying to make your writing more performance
lately, because I like doing the open mics. I like hearing people laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's supposed to be, I don't want to like sit there and stump people.
Yeah. Okay. McLuhan says everything we invent extends some humanness. So knife and fork extends our teeth. Shutter in a camera extends our eyelid. Maybe not tangible, say religion or philosophy extends consciousness. What does the writing utensil extend for you? Whether it's a keyboard or a pen, what humanness does it extend for you?
Oh, wow. I think humor.
Humor. That's a great answer.
Yeah, humor.
I like that.
Look, everybody likes to laugh, don't they?
Well, of course,
But it was like you go back to like Name of the Rose from Umberto Eco. Like, they didn't like laughing. I mean, they were killing people because they
kill people because they were laughing.
Well, yeah, we'll watch the movie of Sean Connery. Yeah, I mean, they were poisoning the illuminated manuscripts with arsenic or something because the guys who were I may be getting this wrong. They were illuminating it like drawing funny pictures in it. The guy was just against laughing. Wow. I can reread Name of the Rose. Yeah, it's kind of, and you think about it, like there's not a totalitarian out there with a sense of humor.
Boy, you brought up a lot there. A good direction we can go in, because one is I wanted to tell you the exact opposite. This Italian guy who ran a Dante group once. I says, what does the pen extend for you? And he goes, my tears.
Okay, that's fair.
And I was like, Rob says it extends humor, which is laughing. Yeah. What's the function of laughter?
Stop you from crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I get what that guy is saying.
Yeah.
It's all human. They're just two sides. It's just to extend your humanity.
Yeah.
Your heartfelt feelings or just your humor.
McLuhan loved to quote Steve Allen, behind every joke there's a grievance.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Look at the great comedian Ricky Gervais,
Yeah.
Larry David.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. He's got full grievance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Bill Burr. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Gurdjieff said laughter is the reconciliation of yes and no. What's the function of laughter?
Interesting. look, there can be different functions of laughter. I mean, making fun of somebody who takes themselves very seriously, that's a weapon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or it's just, hey, we all like to laugh together. You know, it's just community. You know, so it's it can go either way.
Yeah. Because let's go into what is the function of satire. I'll just set it up because this is a few thoughts on it. My friend wrote comedy for Robin Williams.
Wow.
And I says, can satire be destructive? And he says, that's the job of satire.
Yeah,
but if me or you do a cartoon in a certain country and they kill us, some people think dying is destructive. Now, Swift said he compared satire to a mirror in which people could see every face but their own. What's the function of satire?
Well, yeah, it depends. I mean, it's look, definitely satire is to, you know, reveal something about something that other people are taking seriously.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's going to sound serious, but the satire specifically is not just a joke.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking the piss out of somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Joyce does it. I think all the best do it. Obviously, Swift. You know,
yeah.
It's an Irish thing.
It's an Irish thing, but it's also, you know, we just had a seminar on Vico. So most will say Joyce was highly influenced by Vico and Bruno and blah, 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 you know, especially in the Wake.
You see it in the Wake specifically.
Yeah. They were like, no, they kind of want to disprove that word influence. They wanted to change it. And they did a really good job. I can send you the documents, and they got deep into it. And it's just the verb. Well, of course he was influenced, but they was like, no, he wasn't influenced. He was satirizing Vico, or he was parodying Vico.
Okay.
So it is a funny thing. It's like this line, and that goes, you create what you resist. Bob Goldthwait, the comedian, morphed it into you are what you hate.
Oh.
And James Joyce said, it's a curious thing how your mind is super saturated with the religion in which you say you disbelieve.
Of course.
Yeah. Louis Buñuel nailed it. He said, thank God I'm an atheist.
Right.
So your thoughts on that line, you create what you resist. Not you, Rob, but one creates what one resists. Any thoughts on that line?
Yeah, that's pretty deep. I can talk about just personally me, like, yeah, am I satirizing Shakespeare and Joyce? Yeah, maybe.
In your sonnets book?
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm parroting them. I'm parodying them. I don't know what else to do with them. I think I said this, another filmmaker, Godfrey Jordan. I think you may know Godfrey. He asked me about this stuff last Bloomsday in Dublin. So look, I'm not a scholar. I just read it. You know, I just read the book and experience it. And this is how I interact with the book. You know, I kind of pull things out and then I write sonnets about it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of makes me read the book more closely and have that relationship with the book instead of just, you know, studying it like it's a
instead of just studying them. It's like how it affects you and how it takes. Because my thoughts on great art is it fucks your shit up. And it makes you go, I can do that.
Right.
And then you can do that, but then say back to Harold Bloom, the anxiety of influence.
Right.
You absorb your influence, then you abandon them.
Sure.
It's like, good luck. How do you abandon them? Did Joyce absorb all these people and then abandon? It's like my main guy is Frank Zappa. Okay, he loved black music.
Right.
He loved Spike Jones, make pure satire, like the Weird Al of his time.
Right.
And one guy taught me really well. He says Frank satirized what he loved the most.
Sure, of course.
And that's what Buñuel and Joyce are doing.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they don't like that.
No.
But in essence, it's so much a part of them that it's, what is it, therapy or self, that they need to make fun of it and appear to be saying, I'm not that.
Or they need to interact with it.
Interact is the
I think they need to interact with it, need to play with it, and I think they just they wind up having fun with it, so it looks like they're making fun of it. Maybe I'm just, because I think that's what I do. I'm not making fun of it. I mean,
you not, or
well,
you are?
Well, I think
I missed the beat. You are or are not making fun?
It's not my. It's not setting out to like poke fun at Shakespeare and James Joyce, but I do have fun with it, because
you have fun.
Yeah, I have fun with it because I the fact that I'm even playing the same sandbox with these guys is a joke. I mean, think about it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I wrote a bad sonnet called the Apex Sonneteer one time, and I don't have it I can't read it, but where I'm like I'm talking about how Shakespeare and Joyce and these guys all suck and how I'm the best, And it's,
God.
And it's obviously a joke. I mean, it's obviously a joke. And I remember I read it at Village Well Books.
I know that place.
Over in Culver City. It was like one of my first poetry readings I went to. I was very nervous. And I read this thing like a lunatic. I remember I went back and stood in the back. There weren't even enough seats. And the girl next to me looks at me and she goes, pretty cocky. And I felt like, wow. Like,
did you get a phone number?
No, I did not. No, but I was thinking like, wow, did she think I was serious?
But did you take it as a compliment?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, look, it was. I mean, the fact that she just turned around and said pretty cocky, I was like, it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
we're having fun with this.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
I mean, so it's a response. You're getting a response.
You're getting a response. That's what McLuhan wrote a letter to Ezra Pound. Needle the subnobulous.
Yeah.
So they're sleeping, and you're just needling.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I like being, and a friend of mine, Chris LeGraw here. He's a political operative nearby here, and I get banned from these Facebook groups. He goes, "Your goal should be to get banned from every single Facebook group." And he's kind of right. I mean, and I'm not overtly trying to. I'm not overtly trying to piss these guys off, but I don't know what I did to get banned. I even I wrote a poem. A moderator wrote me. He was writing me quite a bit, and I thought he wanted to like beat me up at one point. And I told him, I said, hey, if you're ever in LA, look me up and I'll buy you a Guinness. He never did, but yeah, he was he was something. He actually said, like, if only I don't know, I can't quote it directly, but he said, like, my term as moderator here is almost up, so I don't want to like foist my own values on right here, but you should really temper your content. Like he was
temper your content.
Yeah, he's temper my content. Yeah, and I was like, wow, man, I thought this was a James Joyce group. So I wrote a poem about that, and I don't know if I got banned from that one or not.
Dude, I'm gonna just check our time here. Oh, we're doing really good. So you want to center that, and we'll do one more. Does that look pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll do one more, and this has really been fun, Rob. And I do kind of want to insist that we do a part 2 because
for sure
we didn't even get into Joyce and
no I love to come back. I'll read poems and the whole thing. Yeah.
So Utah Phillips says anarchy is making rules for yourself and not other people. Who's entitled to make the rules?
Well, just who said that?
Utah Phillips is a labor activist folk singer.
Okay.
He says anarchy is making rules for yourself and not other people. Now, an anarchist specialist said that's not what anarchy is. So it's just a prompt that, like, in the big picture, in the word entitled is a little difficult. Who's entitled to make the rules? Who makes the rules? Well, we already know it's a plutocracy. The rich people make the rules. But I'm just saying, kind of, who should entitled, you know what I'm saying.
There's a tough one.
It's a tough one, but who should?
Because somebody does have to come up with some guidelines, if we don't even want to say the word rules, because we do need basic guidelines. And
Well, do we? Because in the long run, when you create a law, you create the opportunity
of course
to
you do.
break it.
Of course.
But like like back to my wife's dad, he said,
Well, this is like
in
Clarence
Cuba,
Darrow. I mean,
but
what are we talking
he
about?
said once, in Cuba, you sit there in the waiting room and everybody goes, "Oh, you were next." In America, goes, "No, I'm next." Or you got to have a
Sure.
system. So you want, or the other main one is cops with cameras. I'm like, no, I don't think cops should have cameras because they should act humane to other people because that's the humane thing to do.
Yeah.
Not because there's a camera on
Sure,
them, but then in the long run, they're like, no, there's crooked cops, so we should have cops. Like, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In general,
It's
you're laying out, we kind of need rules.
Yeah.
We kind of think we need rules, then who should make them?
The problem is we're already existing in a society, in a world that's been cobbled on top of so many different rules for the past thousands of years that we're just used to certain things, you know. So it's very easy just to like quote the Old Testament or quote Buddha or quote whatever because, you know, quote Marx or whoever. It's just how far back do we want to unwind this to, you know, to just savagery? Okay, we're all stuck on a desert island. What are the rules?
Exactly.
You know, because if I'm bigger and stronger, I'm going to take your shit. You know, I'm hungry and I don't feel like hunting. I'll just take your shit. I have a friend of mine who he's kind of like a gun guy, and it was during, you know, it may have been during like COVID or something. And I said, do you keep water? You know, because I'm thinking people keep, you know, these survivalists and generators of waters. I go, do you keep a lot of water on hand? He said, no, I have guns and my neighbors have water. You know, so
that's not funny, but I mean,
but that's the reality of the situation.
The
strong are going to take advantage of the weak.
Yeah,
some of them are.
Yeah.
So who makes the guideline? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
not me.
Well, see, that's what I'm impressed because you can say I don't know, and it's a question to struggle with because we live in a democracy, but really we live in a plutocracy. And the rich make the rules, but we're privileged white dudes in the long run, and we got it pretty good.
Well, unfortunately, yeah.
But here's the funny thing, because it goes right back to the first word you put out, Rob. Freedom etymologically breaks down to exactly what Utah said: making one's rules for one's own self.
That's right.
What does freedom mean to you now?
I mean, again, like I consider and celebrate my freedom because I've already been like, I was fortunate enough to be educated by my parents who taught me to be a certain way, you know, so I've already won that lottery. So my freedom is just, I don't have a lot to complain about. I mean,
well, what does it mean to you? What is being free?
You mean the value of it?
Exactly. What does freedom mean to you now? Yeah. You
mean the value of it, not the meaning of it?
Both and either. Yeah. Either.
Well, look, I told you I was in second or third grade. I cried when I had to stay in after school. So it means everything.
That's
to me, you know, and I felt that as a, you know, prepubescent kid being confined or restricted, you know, and look, you had to wake up and go to school 180 days a year. You had to go to school and you had to change classes and walk in line and not hit people and do things. And you weren't completely free, but having that extra restriction on me, man, it stuck with me. I mean, I still remember. I remember staying in after school that day and crying, thinking, "Oh my God, I ruined my freedom here." So it means everything.
It's an amazing word. It's almost like it means everything to you. And back to Joyce in Finnegan's Wake saying, "Remember to forget." You didn't forget.
Right.
That everything stuck with you.
Right. And you can find freedom in different places. You know, like Malcolm X talks about this. You know, people who are literally confined can find freedom and intellectually or whatnot. So,
you know where I got it?
Hard.
You brought up, you know, growing up watching TV and movies. When I was a kid, I watched Burt Lancaster in Birdman of Alcatraz.
Sure, sure.
And I learned you can be in a jail cell and still be happy.
Sure.
You're seeing the birds come
it's
to
very
your
stoic.
Yeah, it was like, wow, that hit me
Yeah.
hard when I was a kid.
Yeah. I didn't buy it. I wanted to run around, ride my bike, and ride my skateboard, and play football, and throw snowballs at cars and stuff.
Dude, I want to just show the camera your book, and we'll close out part 1 here.
Oh, beautiful.
So this is Rob's book, My Own Private Ulysses, Joycean Sonnets, poems by Robert Roman, and you can get them from his website, which is listed below. Rob, what a pleasure and an honor.
It was my pleasure.
That was really nice. And even though
I got to punch. I got to.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got to read the Bloomsday Journal. It's online.
Bloomsday Journal. You can search that online.
It's all online. It's on Instagram, Facebook, Tinder, every place. My website's Robert Roman Empire, because I don't have any delusions of grandeur or anything.
But we look forward to part 2. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
And even though I'm going to hit this end broadcast button, I hope this never ends and we can keep talking forever and ever.
Like
Rob, thank you.
Thanks.